one to help you out. So you're going to have to write a 10-digit number, and it's going to be a 1, 2, or 3. Those are the three numbers you're using according to the law, whether it's law 1, law 2, or law 3. So the first one, it says you fire a gun and are pushed backwards. So we have like an action force and a reaction force. So think about the law that goes with that one for number 1, action, reaction. There's a law that talks about that. Number 2. It is harder to get a real car to move rather than a bike. It's harder to get a real car to move rather than a bike. Well, a car has way more mass than a bike. So think about getting a car to accelerate versus trying to get something light like a bike to accelerate. So think about the law that deals with force and mass and acceleration. There's a law that talks about that for number 2. Number 3, your mom slams on the brakes of the car and you are thrown forward. So think about it this way. You're in motion and you want to stay in motion. So there's a law that talks about objects in motion. They tend to stay in motion. Think about the law that mentions that. That's going to be number 3. Number 4, the law of inertia. Inertia means to be lazier and not change what they're doing. So it goes back to objects in motion want to stay in motion, and objects at rest want to stay at rest. So think about the law that goes along with that for number 4. Number 5, F equals ma, force equals mass times acceleration. So we talked about that a little bit already. So if we talk about changing the mass or changing the force, it's going to affect how much an object accelerates. There's a law that talks about how the force and the mass will affect how much an object will accelerate. Think about the law that talks about that. Number 6, you kick a ball with more force to get it to accelerate. That's just what we're talking about. It applies to the same thing. If you apply more force, it's going to cause the ball to accelerate more. So that would be the same law as this one, number 5. Number 6, the box on the ground will only move if you apply a force. Well, if it's at rest, it will stay at rest. So think about the law that talks about objects at rest wanting to stay at rest. So that's what they're talking about for number 7, that law. Number 8, a rocket blasting off shoots a gases downward, making the rocket shoot upward. That's that action, reaction again. So think about the law that talks about action, reaction. Number 9, you swim and pull your hand through the water and the water pushed back with equal force. Same thing. We have an action, reaction force. So think about the law that goes with number 9. Number 10, you fly over the handlebars of your bike after hitting a large rock. The bike stops, but you keep moving forward. So objects in motion want to stay in motion. You have inertia. So think about the law that deals with that. That would be number 10.